The Lord be with you. And with your spirit. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Glory to you, Lord. After Jesus left the synagogue, he entered the house of Simon. Simon's mother-in-law was afflicted with a severe fever, and they interceded with him about her. He stood over her, rebuked the fever, and it left her. She got up immediately and waited on them. At sunset, all who had people sick with various diseases brought them to him. He laid his hands on each of them and cured them. And demons also came out from many, shouting, "You are the Son of God." But he rebuked them and did not allow them to speak, because they knew that he was the Christ. At daybreak, Jesus left and went to a deserted place. The crowds went looking for him, and when they came to him, they tried to prevent him from leaving them. But he said to them, "To the other towns also I must proclaim the good news of the kingdom of God, because for this purpose I have been sent." And he was preaching in the synagogues of Judea. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. I've been pondering on the last sentence that Jesus told the people when they tried to stop him. He said, "I must proclaim the good news of the kingdom of God, because for this purpose I have been sent." So it's kind of telling us that Jesus' work and ministry is really for us to do something. And it has been 3 days since we see Jesus doing his ministry in the synagogue. If you can remember, on Monday, Jesus read the text from the prophet Isaiah and proclaimed that he is the truth spoken by the prophet. Some of the hearers took this to their hearts, the proclamation, but most of them were dubious and even got angry with intentions to kill Jesus by pushing him off the cliff. But he went straight through their midst and walked away. I'm sure you remember that gospel last Monday. Yesterday, Jesus exorcised a man possessed by a demon, a child of darkness. This happened in a synagogue too. And Jesus proclaimed that he is the way into the light, and himself the light. He saved the possessed and brought him back into community. All who witnessed, however, were struck with awe, with astonishment, with wonder on the power that Jesus possessed. And today, on leaving the synagogue, Jesus healed Peter's mother-in-law. She's dying, and they interceded with him for her. I say it again, they interceded with him for her. For they believe, after all what Jesus did, they believe that Jesus is the life. On and on, Jesus continued to preach, to save, to heal, and to love. For that is why he was sent. So, in this chapter of Luke, the whole chapter 4, you can see that Jesus has really been busy doing the will of the Father to reveal to us himself as the truth, the way, and the life. Or if you like it, the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus, his person, became the visible image of God, who is the source of all truth, source of all life, and the way. Jesus, furthermore, showed this to us even to the point of dying on that cross. I'm wondering with awe in this mural on the side here where Jesus hung on the cross. I was looking for the other two who were crucified with him. You know there are other two, right? Of course. Don't forget the other two. Might be you and me as well, and the other two. Well, my brothers and sisters, St. Augustine said something about that scenery. He said, 2 criminals were crucified with Christ. One was saved, so do not despair. One was not, so do not presume. I say it again. 2 criminals were crucified with Christ. One was saved, so do not despair. One was not, so do not presume. The salvation on which Jesus offered to all of us, necessitates our cooperation. So even in our struggles, in our temptations, in our sufferings and in pain, in our joys, in our celebration, in our happy moments, let us cooperate with the grace of God in our lives. Let us endure and then believe that Jesus saves. Or the other way around as well. Let us believe that He comes so that we will endure even today as we reflect on our gospel readings. Jesus comes as well, my dear brothers, to keep reminding us of who He is. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And this is the gospel that saves. So live by it, and the most important thing is witness. Witness this by bearing with one another, by bearing with each other's struggles and imperfections. So for a moment, let me invite you to lingi sa tagamay sa atong kiliran kinsa na atong mga igsuon be. Kanaw natog makabear bata sa atong struggles ug imperfection. With a smile, that's a positive thing. And this is a clear manifestation, my dear brothers and sisters, of cooperating with God's grace, especially when we intercede with Him for others. So that's where we get our tradition of prayer of intercession, no? Because intercession also brings the other closer to Jesus. Not close to us, okay? Not close to the priest, not close to the bishop, or to the lay ministers, or to the choir, but close and closer to Jesus. Let us continue to intercede with Jesus for our neighbors, for our friends, even for those whom we are not in good terms with. As the grace of God is freely given to us, freely share it as well, my dear brothers and sisters. And let us together learn from the saints who keep looking after good of another, so that sainthood is not only for you and for me, but even for those who are not here with us celebrating the Mass.